Hello everyone, welcome back. For today's practice, I do encourage you to have some sort of prop that you can use to place your hands on to raise the floor in case your hamstrings are a little tight today. So I'm going to have my blocks handy at the front of my mat, and I might or I might not need to use them, but I'm going to have them close by in case I do want to use them. And once you have your objects, then I invite you to settle in. Settle into the position that you want to start your practice in today, something that is comfortable for you today. Whether it's a sit position, whether it's a child's pose, or if it's a traditional shavasana, something that you can get comfortable. We always want to start our practice with a few minutes of settling in, to see if we can soften some of the tightness that we've accumulated in our bodies, and also some of the tightness in our mind, to let go of some of the stresses, and to be more aware of how we're going to move our bodies in our practice today. And not being judgmental before the practice, not thinking, I better do this or I better do that, but allowing your body just to express itself with how it feels today. So in whatever shape you are in, notice your breath. Notice that inhale, notice the exhale. Has it already started to slow down, or are you not quite there yet? Notice if the inhale and exhales are the same length or not. Notice if you can smooth out the transition from one to the other. From the inhale into the exhale, and back again into the inhale, and into the exhale. It's the smooth breath that we are looking for. Don't force a lengthening of the breath just yet. Allow it to happen on its own. And then see if you can soften the body, the physical body. Relax your feet, legs. Relax your hips and your glutes. Relax your belly enough that you can freely breathe. Soften the chest and shoulders. Relax the arms and hands. Soften through the neck, your face. And just enjoy the few moments before we get moving. You might take note of some information. You might just simply want to enjoy hearing and feeling your breath. Take one more full cycle of breath. Nice big inhale. And an exhale. If you are in a sit position, slowly make your way down to your back and find comfort on your back. Take any of those little movements, those little wiggle jiggles to get more comfortable. And then draw the right knee into your chest. Extend the left leg long along the floor. And just notice if that right knee is more comfortable with a gentle pulling in. Can you still breathe? Any of our movements, you still want to be able to breathe. So if you're exerting so much energy in pushing or pulling or moving that you can't breathe, that's a very good indication that you've gone too far. So right knee into the chest. Keep the left leg engaged. Take an inhale here, and with your exhale, left leg up to the sky and hold. And here with the left leg extended up towards the sky, just flex and extend the foot. Get a little bit of motion, movement in that ankle. And then move the foot around in some circles. Change direction of those circles. And then bring the foot to stillness, flexing it towards your face. And with an inhale, lower the left leg down towards the floor. You can drop it completely to the floor, or you can hover that heel just off the floor. Exhale, lift the leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lower it down towards the floor, hover or not, your choice. Exhale, leg up to the ceiling. Inhale, extend the leg long, hover if you can. And if you do feel that you can lift your head and shoulders for one cycle of breath, gently look at those left toes. Take a full cycle of breath in. Release. Take another inhale. And then with your exhale, release everything down towards the mat. Draw the left knee in and gently take a little motion here, a little movement, just to release the tension in case it crept up. And then when you're ready, leave the left knee in towards your chest. Extend your right leg long along the floor. Keep the foot flexed if you can. Decide how much do you want to draw the left knee in. Take an inhale here at the bottom and exhale, lifting that right foot up towards the sky. Keep the leg extended and start to flex and extend. Point the toe away from you and then point it back towards your face. Just getting some movement, a little bit of ankle mobility. And then take that ankle or take that foot and move it in a circular motion. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Change directions with those circles. And then come to stillness again, flexing the foot towards your face as best as you can. With an inhale, lower that right foot down towards the floor. Hover or not, you decide. Exhale, leg back up to the sky. Trying to keep the leg straight, doing the best you can. Inhale to lower that right leg. Exhale, lift towards the sky. Inhale, lower. We'll hold here. Decide if you want to hover that right leg or leave it engaged on the floor. And then if you feel up to it, gently lift the head and shoulders, but watch that you're not straining your neck. Make it gentle and comfortable for you to hold. Are you still able to breathe? The full cycle of breath here. And then with your exhale, release everything down. Draw the knees up into the chest. Take a little bit of movement here. Now we are going to make our way up into tabletop. Now, how do you want to get there? If you've been investigating rocking and rolling, but you're not quite ready to go all the way, how about you just go to a sit position using your rock and roll, And then at least that's halfway there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of rocking, literally, of the body. Think of rocking on your spine to get yourself up into a sit position. And if you're not comfortable about rolling over the knees at this point, you can simply swing them around and come into your tabletop. But at least you're starting to teach your body that maybe one day I can rock and roll all the way through. But some of us maybe are a little scared to go over the knees just yet. So coming halfway is at least something. And once you get into your tabletop, we're going to get into our side bends. So make sure that you are set, nice and comfortable. Take a nice big inhale to lengthen out the spine as if a string is pulling from the top of your head. And another one is pulling down at your tailbone. And with an exhale, just turn and look over your right shoulder just to get a lengthening in the left side body. Take an inhale to straighten that spine back up, and exhale, look over the left shoulder. So as you look over the left shoulder, you should feel a stretch in the right side of your body. Inhale, straighten the spine back out, and we'll go again. Exhale, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, bring yourself back, and exhale, look over the left shoulder. Come back into tabletop and decide if you need a little bit of movement here. Maybe you need a child's pose right away. Maybe you need a little bit of an adjustment with your hand position. Maybe it's not quite right and you need to change the angle. Find what's good for you. Tuck the toes under. Open the collarbone with your inhale, and with your exhale, lift the tail up into your downward dog. Now make sure your hands are comfortable here because we're going to be here for a little bit longer. So make sure that the spine is being lengthened first. And then we're going to work on the hamstrings a little bit. Try not to curve in your back, but lengthen the left leg long. Basically, you're trying to straighten out the knee. And I'm going to keep a generous bend in my right knee. So I'm extending the left heel down to the floor a little bit more than usual. Trying to get a stretch in the back of the leg. And then super slowly, I'm going to exchange. I'm going to pedal my feet and draw the right heel as close as I can down to the floor, straightening the leg. But I'm going to keep a very generous bend in the opposite left knee. So I'm wagging my tail, but really slowly. And then once again, exchange feet. Left heel down, right knee generously bent. Push through your hands, lengthen the spine. Change feet. Right heel down, left knee generously bent. Come high onto the toes, on both toes, and then even out the weight in your regular down dog. And just notice if those heels can get a little closer to the floor. And again, avoid curving your back just to get your heels down. So we're lengthening our spine first and then working the hamstrings. Finish your breath here and then slowly make your way into a fold. My first one, maybe I'm just going to baby step those feet forward into a forward fold. Inhale up to your flat back. Exhale, fold. And take a breath or two here just to notice how the backside of your body is being stretched. Maybe you get a nice sensation in the back of the legs. Allow your head to drop and be heavy. That way, maybe you get a nice stretch in your neck as well. So you want to be heavy here, but strong in your feet. Slowly come up to a standing position. My first one, I'm going to ragdoll myself up to a standing position. And then I'm going to take a little bit of movement here and really feel my feet. Kind of move front to back, side to side, just so that you get your sensation in your feet, in your ankles, in your toes, really nicely, sturdy. And then set yourself up for your mountain pose. Take a good 2 breaths here. See if you can get that body a little bit more balanced. Relax your hands. Take an inhale and step the left foot back into your warrior 1 position. Our first round, we're just going to work the legs. So leave the hands down by your side. Step back, make sure the angle of your ankle is good. Try to get a lunge in the front knee. Try to keep the hips and torso facing forward, warrior 1. On your next inhale, straighten that front knee. And then with your exhale, hinge forward from the hip. Try to keep both of your legs straight. Don't lock out the knees, but have them straight, nice and strong. So as you're hinging forward from the hip, you want to drive your right hip back and your left hip forward. This is where you might need your blocks. If you have a hard time holding your torso in mid-air and your hands dangling without touching, you can use your blocks at whichever height to help support you. So you're getting, once again, a nice stretch in the front leg, hamstring area. Make sure that that back ankle is nice and strong, supported. Take an inhale to lift the torso, rebend the knee back into your warrior 1. And at this point, lift the arms to extend the spine. And as you exhale, fold forward. My hands are going to come to the floor. I'm going to move my blocks. I'm going to lift the back heel and step back to your downward dog. Once you step back, notice if you have to make a slight adjustment. Do you need maybe to move your feet? Maybe move your hands slightly? And take 2 breaths here. Maybe with movement, maybe not. And then we are going to make our way back into our forward fold. Do you want a baby step, or do you want to shorten the number of steps that you take and maybe make it in 2 steps? Once again, in my forward fold, be heavy. Flat back with your inhale. Exhale, fold. Come to a standing position with or without arms. And then back down to mountain pose. In mountain pose, take a breath just to settle in once again. Try to get balance between left and right side. Relax the hands. Inhale, right foot back into your warrior 1. What foot position is going to work best for you to get your optimal position? Try not to flare with the ribs. Try to keep them contained. Take an inhale to straighten out that front knee, and with your exhale, hinge forward into your plank. Again, you can use those blocks to help support. If you don't want to use the blocks, you can lightly have your hands on your shin. You might even be able to touch the floor with your fingertips. What is most comfortable for you? Where can you still breathe, but be strong and sturdy? Finish your cycle of breath here. And with your inhale, lift the torso, bend the left knee back up into warrior one. Extend the arms. And then hinge forward with your exhale, hands to the floor. Once again, step back into your downward dog. And in this downward dog, decide if you can be resting in down dog, or do you need another position, another modification to relax, to catch your breath. Maybe you need a child's pose. Maybe you need a sip of water. Maybe you're already done for the day and you want to take a few minutes in Shavasana and finish your practice here. If you think that you might be able to continue from down dog, let's see if we can step forward this time. So inhale, right leg lifts up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward into your lunge position. Reposition left foot, warrior one. Inhale to come up with the torso, maybe with the arms. Settle in, warrior one with your exhale. Inhale to straighten out the front leg. And as you exhale, reach forward as you hinge. Do you need the blocks? Can you maybe hinge the hands all the way down to the floor? Inhale to lift the torso, rebend the right knee, back up into warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. This time, can you step back to your plank? And then you can decide if you need to rest somewhere else or that you can hold your plank. We're going to see if we can hold it for 3 breaths. Exhale into downward facing dog and decide if you can rest here or you need another shape. Decide if you need a little bit of movement. If you're not in down dog, make your way there. Inhale the left leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, step it through. Remember, you can always help it to get to that lunge position. Plant the right foot for your warrior one expression and lift the torso and the arms if it's suitable for you. Exhale, settle in. Inhale, straighten the front knee. And as you exhale, hinge forward, reach the hands forward, and keep reaching with those hands either down to the blocks or down to the floor. Try to straighten out those hips. Maybe check in to see if they're level. Inhale to lift the torso, lift the arms, rebend that left knee. We're in warrior one. And as you exhale, hinge forward, hands come back down to the floor. Step yourself back to your plank position. And here, if you like, you can add in your vinyasa flow. Take an inhale to open up the collarbone. Exhale to lower yourself down. Inhale up into your version of your back bend. And then exhale up into downward facing dog. And once again, in downward facing dog, are you resting? Can you comfortably breathe in your down dog? If you notice that your breath is a little bit shaky, then maybe a different shape is what you need, even if it's for 1 or 2 breaths. Taking a slight little break before we do it one more time. So just catching your breath, maybe getting a sip of water. And then making your way into downward facing dog if you're not there already. And let's do it one more time. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it forward into your lunge position. Drop the back heel, lift up into your warrior 1. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Hinge forward with your exhale into your flank position. Inhale, back up into warrior 1. And this time, open up into warrior 2 just as a little bit of a release. Notice how those hips feel. Notice how your arms feel. Just one cycle of breath here. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, lift the back heel, step back to your plank and decide, are you going to stay in plank or are you going to take another little vinyasa flow from high to low plank into your back bend, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Right away, left leg inhales up to the sky. Exhale, step it through into your lunge. Help it if you need. Drop the back heel, lift up into warrior 1. Settle in your exhale. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands to blocks or floor. Be sturdy in your legs as you lift back up into your warrior 1. Exhale to warrior 2 just to release the hips. Change your foot position if you need to. Just for one cycle of breath here. Exhale, windmill your hands, lift the back heel. You can step back into downward facing dog, or if you like, plank. You can move from high to low plank. Go into your back bend. Do a different modification. Whatever you decide is best for you. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And once you're in downward facing dog, take about 3, maybe 6 breaths just to pedal out those legs again. But go slow here. And just notice if there's a difference in those hamstrings. Does this pedaling feel the same as it did when we first started? Do you feel maybe there's a little bit of a different sensation? Come to stillness, finish your breath, and then bring yourself back down into a tabletop position. Give yourself a little wiggle jiggle here. What movement would feel really good? Maybe you just want to move the hips a little side to side. Maybe you just want to sink the bum down to the heels, get a little motion, a little movement in that hip flexor, in that hip crease. What is going to release a little bit of the pressure for you right now? Maybe you just want to take a breath or two in child's pose. What's going to help you catch your breath? Take one more cycle of breath here, and then bring yourself to a sit position, but have your legs extended in front of you. So we're going to take a little bit of a twist. So as you extend the legs in front of you, try not to be curved in your torso. See if you can get a nice straight back. I'm going to keep my right leg long, and I'm going to bend the left knee. Again, finding the bend position that suits you best. Try not to be leaning back. Try to have that nice long spine. Gently have the right hand on the left knee. As you inhale, left hand up to the sky, and then keep circling it back behind you. Turn the torso to the left with your exhale to get a nice gentle twist. Again, as you twist, as you turn to the left, avoid caving and falling back. See if you can keep a nice long spine. Even if your turn or twist to the left is very small. Use your breath as your gauge. If you've turned so much that you've cut off your breathing, you've gone too far. One more full cycle of breath here. Inhale to untwist yourself. Extend that left leg long. At this point, you can get a little lazy with that upper back and shoulders and just give yourself a little bit of a movement. Take a little break. And then back into that neutral straight back. Left leg long, bend the right knee. And again, your foot might be able to come really close up towards your groin. However, if you've compromised your back to do it, you've gone too far. So I'm going to go a little bit further away so that I can straighten out the spine. Left hand gently on that right knee. Inhale, right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, swim it back. Turn the torso. So as your right hand reaches the floor, you're looking towards the right side of your mat. Again, avoid the curving of the spine. See if you can get nice and tall. You can be on fingertips with that right hand or have it flat, whichever one is best for you to still be able to breathe. So I'm trying to sit nice and tall, but I'm also twisting. That's going to compromise your breath. It's going to change your breath. So are you still breathing? Take a full cycle of breath here. And then with your inhale, untwist yourself. Give those legs a little bit of a wiggle jiggle again. You might notice that twisting of the spine, you need an extra breath just to straighten yourself out. And then we're going to do the same start to our foot position. Right leg long, left knee bent. Get nice and tall with the spine, but this time drop the left knee out to the left side. So now the foot, your left foot, is on the inside of your right shin or thigh. Take an inhale here to get nice and long with the spine. And with your exhale, hinge forward with the torso. You might notice that you're not able to get very far at all. That's fine. Go to the depth that you can still breathe. Try to keep the right toes flexed up towards the sky, but in a gentle way, not so much that you're getting cramping in the leg. You can decide if you want to keep your back straight here, or you might want to go a little bit more passive and relax and curve your spine. You decide what you need right now. We're going to take about 3 breaths here to see if you can get a little bit softer in this position. Take an inhale to lift the torso. Draw the left knee up to the sky, extend it long, and once again decide if you need a little bit of movement before we set up for the opposite leg, opposite side. So left leg is long, bend the right knee, and again I'm going to drop the right knee up to the side so that the sole of my right foot is into the left leg. Engage the left leg. Inhale to straighten out that torso. Think lifting of the spine, and then with your exhale, hinge forward. And you might notice this side is completely different. You might be able to get much further in your fold, or not as far. Because we know that our left and right side generally are not the same. So what do you have here? As you're hinging forward, decide if you want to curve in your spine here, or if you'd like to really straighten out that torso, lengthening the spine. You decide, are your shoulders soft? Is your neck comfortable? Are you still able to breathe? That's the important part. Can you still breathe comfortably? Notice that. Is your breath helping you? Is your exhale helping you relax? Inhale to lift the torso. Bring the right knee back up to the sky. Extend the legs. Give them a little wiggle jiggle. And then come to the back. Now we're not quite going into our final resting space. So if you need a little bit of support or something to be more comfortable under the neck or head for a few minutes, place it there. Bend at the knee so your feet are on the floor. Settle the hips and then draw the knees up into the chest. Take a little movement here. And then come to stillness and extend those legs up to the sky. And again, we're trying to straighten out, but if you notice that there's a bend in those knees, that's okay. You want the legs to just be floating. Ideally, the heels are over the hips, but don't worry if they are not. Soften the torso, soften the shoulders, and just allow your feet to be relaxed and loose. We'll take about 3 to 5 breaths here. So you might notice a little bit of movement in those legs, almost like a little sway. That's okay. Try to not exert too much energy here with the legs lifted. Just enjoy whichever knee position you require. Finish your exhale. Gently bend the knees so that your heels drop closer to your bum. And then put the feet back to the floor. And then decide what is going to be your final position for rest. You might stay right here with the knees bent. You might want to extend your legs and get into a more traditional Shavasana. You might decide that neither of those two are suitable and you'd prefer a sit. What is going to be the best position for you to be in right now so that you can rest and relax? So as you settle into whichever position you've chosen, see if you can relax a little bit more. Soften something. Let go of any tension. Find one little sticky spot and see if you can breathe into that. And see if your exhale can release a little bit of the work effort. You'd like your final resting pose to have little to no work effort going on because you want to rest and enjoy. You want your breath to be smooth, full, and we'll take about 5 breaths here so that you can rest and relax. And I'll guide you back shortly. Start with being aware of your breath before your movement. Notice the inhale, notice the exhale. And then gently start to wake up the body with those small little movements. Whatever is going to feel good for you at this moment. Where do you need the movement? And then slowly and gently, if you are on your back, come up to a sit position and decide what leg position is going to be best suited for you to finish your practice in. Once you get to your sit, soften the shoulders. Choose your hand position. Take a nice big inhale. Release in your exhale. We'll finish our practice here, honoring the light within. Namaste. Thank you once again for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It's easy to do, just hit the big red subscribe button. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to share the link with any of your friends.